Welcome to BizTV's Beyond the Brand. I'm Kelly Phillips. Today I'm joined by Lorraine Lane. Lorraine is a business coach with more than 25 years experience working with both small businesses and large enterprises. She helps them take advantage of their special talents and interests to find their own way to do business. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more Beyond the Brand. She is a trusted business coach and consultant dedicated to helping small business owners and startups succeed on their own terms. We're excited to have Lorraine Lane join us today. Hi, Lorraine. And you transitioned from high-tech HR roles to founding your own consulting firm. What inspired that shift, and how has your background influenced your coaching style?
Oh, big question. So I was in the corporate world for 15 years and loved my job. I expected to retire from that company until one Monday morning, my manager called and said our whole department had been laid off overnight.
Oh,
so yes. So that kind of changed my life. And it was a time of great downturn in the economy. And I was unsuccessful in finding a job. And my business kind of built up around me without my really intending to be in business. So I made a lot of what I call mistakes and learned from them. And so in my work as a business coach today, having gone through that experience taught me a lot of things that I can help small businesses avoid the same mistakes and make better decisions. So building my business was not a thoughtful, I'm going to go into business, but my corporate career prepared me for the work that I do. And so I'm grateful for that and love what I do. Really do.
Yeah. Well, tell us, if you don't mind, would you tell us about some of those mistakes that you made along the way that you are actually taking that information and helping other businesses?
Okay. So in my corporate career, I traveled a lot, and I did not build an internal or external network. And so when I got laid off, I realized I had no one in my community that I was connected to. I didn't even know people who lived next door. So that left me very isolated and alone. And so I didn't have a support community, and my work took me all over the United States, but that isn't a network. And all the people that I was connected to in my department were gone. So what I do now is, when I'm coaching people, is build a network, build a community around yourself, be part of a community, and I teach people how to do that. The other mistake I made was not asking for help. I didn't even know the questions to ask, but I didn't reach out asking a lot of questions or get a coach myself. And I think that stalled my business for a few years. So being able to ask for help and not be afraid to ask for help is something I really insist on with my clients.
Asking for help doesn't mean that you're a failure. Asking for help means that you're trying to learn, isn't it?
Exactly. But in the corporate world, there was this feeling of, if you're asking for help, you don't know how to do your job. There was this myth, I think, that so the asking for help when I was building my business, I look back on it and I think, I didn't ask for help, but I didn't even know the questions to ask. So I help people ask questions.
Now, you were saying that you traveled all the time, but so you didn't have a network. There are jobs out there where it requires a lot of travel. So how do you build that network when you're not in one place all the time?
Well, now that we have Zoom, we
So much
have
easier.
yeah. So now I have a network with people all over the country and in other countries, so Zoom has helped with that. But if you don't use it or think about how you're building a network and what you're contributing, what's the value you bring to other people? And when I'm coaching people, it's like surround yourself with people who will ask you questions, who will bring value that you can reach out to, and they can do the same with you. It isn't just about you asking people for help. It's like, how do you contribute to that community as well? So it goes both ways, right?
Yeah,
So
it's a two-way street.
yeah. So I have people that I reach out to. We have, breakfast once a month, or people that I just call and we have a conversation every once in a while. So you have to keep your network alive and thriving, right? So it's a very conscious thing that I do in my business.
Let's talk about Lane Business Consulting, how it emphasizes tailored strategies over generic solutions. So how do you approach customizing your services for each client that you have?
Okay, so I tell my clients, I don't have a 3-ring binder that I'm going to go through as I coach you. So we do a discovery session in which I ask a lot of questions and propose to my client, what's the most important thing that you think would impact your business? And that's the first thing we work on, because every business is unique. Every business owner is unique. You may have the same kind of business, but the way you approach it and the kind of clients that you want, the messaging, what you bring is very unique. So let's build on that. And I work with people on their strengths and what they bring to the table, and let's do more of that and help you stand out in the marketplace and emphasize your uniqueness. And I've had great success with people doing that. So that's my method.
How do you help these small businesses navigate obstacles that they may have?
Oh, we identify the obstacle. Okay, so what's stopping you? And I want it in their definition, how they define that. So I was working with a group last night and talking about their marketing. So what is stopping you? And when they look at it, one of the people was saying, I think I don't have a call to action. Okay, so what would be the call to action that you want to have in your content, in your messaging, and so on? So that led to a really good conversation with the people on the call. Like, some people didn't even know what a call to action was. And so I know when we looked at the call to action, what people thought was a call to action isn't. They just expected that because they posted something, people liking it or people commenting was a call to action. And so defining that for small business owners was really powerful. It was a really powerful conversation. So I'm anxious to see now if their posts are going to be a little different.
Can you talk about the different businesses that are your clients? Do they, are they a wide range of clients, or are they limited to certain niche markets?
Well, I don't niche it down that much. It's small business owners who are feeling overwhelmed, are networking all the time and not getting business, and they're in this gap of, I don't know what else to do. And they feel really overwhelmed and stuck. And those are the people that I really love to help. And when you look at, when I look at across all my clients, they come from all different. I have someone who runs a marketing agency. Yes. I have chiropractors. I have printers, people who are in franchise organizations. They all have the same problem. So it's the problem that I'm helping them with. It isn't necessarily they're in a certain sector of business. I'm helping a painter, a plumber. So it's the problem that I listen to. It's them saying, I need help with getting clients. I need help. I need to make money. And I'm stuck. I'm not getting clients. Nobody's responding to anything I put out there. So that's a trigger for me. Would you like help with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Lorraine, we need to take a quick break, but I've got lots of other questions for you. So stick around and we'll be back with more BizTV right after this. We're back with Lorraine Lane to talk about her business consulting. And Lorraine, you've got an A-game program and a business mastery academy. Tell us about those and what the core objectives of these programs are.
Okay, so the A-game program is built on my book, Building Business Referrals. And it came about with 10 years of research on this phenomenon we call networking. Because when I came out of corporate, I didn't understand what networking was about. And people were telling me that's the way to build your business. So I studied networking, and I have notebooks full of notes. And the program developed as a result of that research and the book, helping people to really use networking to build their business. And it isn't just going to networking meetings and having a 30-second introduction. There's a whole lot behind that. So the A game is how to be aware of conversations. And I noticed that business sat on the table because people weren't aware of what the conversation was behind the words, how to pay attention, what action do you need to take, and acknowledge, all those start with A, and acknowledge your community, because from that will come referrals and business. So that's a 6-week program that I offer. And the Business Mastery Academy was a year-long program that I offered to local businesses. And each month we covered a business topic. COVID hit, and then I've broken the academy up into 6-week segments on teaching people how to do presentations and other business marketing and so on. So I haven't brought the total academy into a year-long program yet, but that is a goal that I have. It was so successful. Businesses just doubled their revenue and their client base because of the work that we did.
Tell us about your networking book, because I have a feeling there are a lot of people out there that, like you said, they may not understand that networking is not just about a touch point here and there, but you've got to actually put some effort into it. So people may want to read your book.
All right. So Business Building Referrals is the name of the book. It's available on Amazon. What I realized when I was building my business, when I realized I was in business, was that going to networking events, meetings, week after week, wasn't building my business. Mm-hmm. And I realized after years of belonging to a networking organization that something was missing, and I didn't know what it was. So I stopped going to those weekly meetings, and I said to myself, what now? How do I build my business? But I realized my business was building outside of the networking. And so it was my own effort. It was my own connections with people outside of that networking group. So I had to think about what was I going to do to build my business? And that's what the book is about, is thinking about why you're going to a meeting. How do you connect with people? How do you follow up with people? How do you make those relationships work for both sides? How do you not sell in conversations? So it's about making those business connections work for you, how to have those conversations. And I just read something the other day. Vanessa Van Edwards is a popular author and speaker. And she was talking about the fact that she was giving a presentation for a huge contract. The person who had invited her was trying to make small talk with her, and she didn't engage in the conversation. She didn't know how to engage in the small talk conversation. She did not get the contract. Big lesson. So that's one of the things that I realized early on, was that I didn't know how to engage in small talk. I thought small talk was a waste of time. I realized that's how you make connections, right?
Exactly. You've got to have that small talk.
Yes. And so when I realized that, was like, oh, I've got to get better at this and engage with people, know how to ask good questions, get people engaged in conversation. That was a skill worth developing. So I teach people how to do that.
Well, confidence plays a crucial role in business. How do you help clients build and maintain their confidence, but not feel boastful about it?
Okay, so I do a whole series on brag on your business, BOYB. So you have to learn how to talk about our business in a way that feels authentic, and how it creates curiosity in other people, right? Mm-hmm. So learning how to do that is a skill, and we practice in the one-on-ones or in the small groups that I have. People practice. What does that sound like? What if you did this? What if you use these words instead of these words? So, creating that safe space for people to practice a skill, I think, is one of the benefits of the work that I do with small business owners.
Now, with the rise of digital tools and even remote work, how has your consulting approach evolved to meet these changes?
Well, before COVID, all my business was local. And so COVID hits. And in March of 2020, I lost 90% of my business because people either decided to retire, or I'm going to wait it out, not going to market because business is shutting down. So I had to learn how to network and do my work online. Zoom was in the right place at the right time, right?
Right.
And so what I thought was going to shut down my business actually expanded it, because I began to have clients in Brazil, across the United States. So now my business is international, which was not my intention, but it's there and it's wonderful. I love meeting people anywhere. I have clients in Canada. So it opened doors. And now we're in this hybrid of local in-person networking happening and the hybrid of being online. So we're evolving into another model, which is difficult for small business owners right now because they're like, what do I do? I'm going to networking events and then I've got to do all this social media stuff. And then where do I put my attention? Right?
Yeah.
So
how do you get businesses to enhance their online presence and target their audience effectively?
Well, you need to know who your audience is, right? So if you're going to chase every squirrel, it's not going to work very well, and you're going to get exhausted. So who is your audience? And just before this interview, I was talking with someone who said the fatal words: "My client is everyone who has a pulse."
Ooh,
couldn't help myself, but I said, Ben, no, your clientele is this. And he was taking notes. He goes, oh boy, yeah, you're right. So, once he's identified that, now he can focus on that audience instead of trying to be everything to everybody, which is not a good strategy. So identify your audience, show up there. There. What's their pain point? How do you help?
Well, Lorraine, if people want to get in touch with you to maybe enroll in one of your classes or find out more, how do they do that?
They can do that on my website. It is lanebc.com, or they can reach out to me, Lorraine with 2 R's at lanebc.com. And they can always reach out on calling me. My number is on my website. Happy to talk. Happy to do a call to say, how can I help you?
Perfect. Lorraine Lane of Lane Business Consulting, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching BizTV's Beyond the Brand. Be sure to subscribe to the BizTV YouTube channel, where you'll find full episodes of this show, a 24/7 live stream, fresh BizTV content, and a few surprises each week to help you stay inspired.